Hello everyone, and welcome back to more mysterious recipes with me and her.
Hi! So today we are on to our April coffee of the month. And our cue for that was in April, he ties up the trees. Which means we decided, obviously, today's coffee has to have something to do with trees.
Yes.
So we are out on our very brief little foraging trek right now to get our tree supplies to start making our coffee syrup. And we're going to be doing what kind of tree-based syrup again today? Pine! So we're going to be doing a pine needle syrup, and it's going to be super easy to do. This is probably going to be our simplest of our coffee recipes, honestly. I don't know why my brain just shut off for a second. It's been a very long week. But yeah, it's going to be a really easy one to do. So you just need to pick about 1 to 2 cups, depending on how much syrup you want to make, 1 to 2 cups of pine needles. We only need about 1 cup. And from all of our researching and references before this, early spring is the best time to pick your pine needles for this type of syrup, so it works out
Perfectly.
extra well, yes.
We are just headed to our pine tree source.
If there's noise in the background, the neighbor is outside. I don't know, that doesn't sound like a weed eater, it sounds like a saw. I'm not sure what they're doing.
It's a weed eater. I can smell it.
Okay. It sounded louder than a weed eater.
Yeah.
But it is rather cool out today, but
It should be.
not too bad. I don't know who that is.
Get my way for a bit.
Yeah, we're gonna cut off filming for a second because there's some people up ahead of us, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Some different repairmen.
I think
That we were passing
here is
by.
going to be our best chance.
Yeah. So we are coming up on a nice row of pine trees. We're gonna look for some of the smaller, fresher looking needles, ideally. If we find some little green cones, then we'll pick those to try doing at another point. But right now, all I'm seeing, not these things,
No,
but yeah, probably some of the needles around these little bunches here, because these should be new growth. They should be a little fresher, a little sweeter, and a little bit better flavor based on what I was reading. We've still got some old cones left from last...
Ow!
Oh, sorry. Some old cones left from last year. I'm trying to get that on screen. There we go. If I see any little green ones, sorry, then I'll pick those. But I think it's still a little... We're still a little early in the year for green cones out here. It's been pretty cold still. Sorry. So yeah, we're just gonna pick a couple handfuls of these needles around these little bunches of fresh growth, which is honestly just about everything on the tree right now.
Well, it is spring, my dear.
Yeah, but they don't drop all the needles during the winter. They're pines, they keep a lot of needles. I'm gonna kind of lean this off to the side for a minute while we gather some needles. It's nice and sunny out, and I want to see if there's I don't think there's any cones. Let's walk a little further just because it's nice and it's noisy in the house. And I want to see. My hand smells like pine tree. It actually smells so nice. Let me sniff the basket.
Not as sweet as I thought it would.
It doesn't smell really sweet, but we're going to sweeten it up some. Most of the recipes call for sugar, but we're going to use honey just to make it more naturey.
More nature.
But it smells
That
so
is a
good.
common theme with these coffees. It's kind of a bit naturey, but a lot of the prompts, basically all of the prompts, are based on nature.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's kind of fun. It's something you wouldn't normally do for your coffee.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
whole
and it's also,
experience
it's like
doing
we're
these.
making coffees that you can't just go out and find in a specialty coffee
Yeah.
shop. I mean, I've been to a lot of coffee shops, and I love going to new coffee shops and trying new coffees, but the stuff that we're doing, some of it is not stuff that I've seen in any coffee shop somewhere without going to a huge city that has a specialty coffee shop on every corner. Yeah, we're almost down to the end of the strip of trees, and it's still just the little buds right now. I am curious about, so the pine cone syrup, that looks really good where you take the baby green pine cones. It's called Magolio, and it's more of a traditional Italian syrup sauce. And it sounds really nice. It sounds really good, especially if we like the pine needle syrup. So I'm probably going to try to remember to come out here in like another 3 or 4 weeks and see what things are looking like then, and maybe just make a jar of that to try out. And that's even easier to make. You just put the green pine cones and brown sugar in a jar, and you
let it sit.
Yeah, until the sugar draws out the flavor and the liquids from the cones, and you end up with this really dark, thick syrup that looks amazing.
Oh no! He was gonna attack!
Hi, attack dog. Do you want to say hi?
You want some pet? Come here. Why are you leaving Mom? She's down there.
She's looking for her. I think she lost track.
Leave her now. She's there. Leave her there. Leave her.
Where is she? Look at her fly.
Where's my mother?
Full speed ahead. These trees here make a lot of pine cones, so probably in a few weeks would be a good time to check, like this tree. Are you sniffing the tree?
Just looking at it.
Oh. Alright, have we had fun foraging?
Oh, we
Our
need to
very
show
brief
them the
forage.
apple blossoms.
Yes.
Look how pretty. Oh, it's so cute. Do we need an apple blossom picture?
I wish that the apple blossoms just took a little longer to bloom because we have the flowers coffee coming up.
So cute.
Photo shoot.
Photo shoot with the blossoms.
There. Isn't this screaming spring to you all? Look at those pretty little pink and white flowers. I'm also hoping that this wind isn't drowning too much of our audio.
It's weird to get a picture of yourself with blossoms. Don't record me. It's already weird enough.
Brief pause. Back to the house with our foraging.
The home that I live in.
So when we get down there with our little basket of pine needles, we've got probably a little over a cup. We're gonna wash these off a little. We did get a really good rain yesterday, so these won't need a whole lot, but we're still gonna swish them through some nice cool water, get off any dirt, dust, pollen. Definitely plenty of that right now. Then we're gonna throw these in a saucepan. For the pine needles, you're gonna need about equal amounts of pine needle and water. So we've got close to a cup of pine needles. We're gonna put that in a pot with about a cup of water. And we're doing a little more explaining right now in advance because there are a lot of people in the house right now. It's rather loud, it's rather chaotic, and we're not sure how well filming today is gonna go with all of the back and forth chaos, people carrying on in the background, etc. So yeah. Anyway, we shall be back momentarily.
Post-haste.
Post-haste.
Alright, we made it back inside. We're gonna get our syrup going. And like we said, this part's gonna be really easy. We have our little basket of needles. We're just gonna take those, put them in a bowl, swish them in some water to make sure we get off any pollen, dirt, dust, debris. And then we're gonna put them in this pot with 1 cup of water on the stove over a simmer. If you have longer pine needles and they're too wide to fit in your pot, you can use a knife or some scissors to just cut them in half a little bit, make them a little smaller. Just small enough that they fit in the pot. They don't have to be minced up or anything. Smells piney. It really does. Remember when we used to do pine needle stuffed pillows? Yes, it's been a while. So 1 cup of water. We had a little more than a cup of pine needles. 1 cup of water doesn't quite come to the top. I'm just going to add a little more water till it reaches the top of our pine needles. Alright, so that was about 1.5 cups of water. We're just going to bring this to a simmer, and we're going to let that go for about half an hour to make sure we really extract that nice pine flavor. If the water level starts to go down as it's evaporating while it's cooking, just feel free to add a bit more water as you go.
Also, you want it to be a thicker syrup.
Yeah, but we want it to not reduce too much if you've got like a really small pan and it's cooking off really fast, or like a really shallow pan. But yeah, add more water if you need. Let it go for half an hour. We're gonna go eat some breakfast and we'll be back shortly.
Post haste.
Post haste.
Post haste.
Alright, so we've been simmering our pine needles for actually a little over half an hour now in between doing other things. Went ahead and cut off the stove. We are going to strain out our pine needle infused water into a bowl, and we're going to add our honey to sweeten it. We didn't have to add any more water. It didn't cook off as much as I thought it would. So we probably still got a good cup to 1.25 cups of water in here. So we just want to strain out the water from the needles.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's fine.
It smells very...
It smells very piney.
Like you're in the forest.
It does. You can just pop that on top. There we go.
Oh my goodness, that looks kind of disgusting.
I thought it would honestly look a lot darker in color when it was done.
Do you think we need to simmer it down at all?
We're gonna put about 1/2 cup of honey in here. Now, depending on how you want the flavor to be, you can make it a little more flavored, or you can really just commit to the tree note, to the pine needle note. Some of the references that we were looking at said you could put like a little bit of vanilla at this point, or while you're cooking the pine needles, you could add a cinnamon stick while you're simmering. As we've discussed before, Sharon, who keeps going off screen.
I'm sorry! I'm looking at things.
Sharon is not very fond of cinnamon as a flavor in coffee, so we didn't do the cinnamon stick, but we might put a little vanilla. Haven't decided for sure. This is thin enough. I think we do want to reduce it a little.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's get a bigger pan, like
This
a
is
wider
me.
pan.
Every time we make a syrup, I'm like, don't you think we should reduce it more? No, maybe we should.
Well, I thought a lot more water was going to cook off, and it didn't.
We just need to put it at a higher heat.
Well, we also, if we have a wider pan, more surface area on the stove, it's going to evaporate faster. So let's put this on the stove over high to medium high heat until we reduce the liquid by, let's say, maybe almost half.
I think we should have just had it on higher heat. I think in 30 minutes that's enough time. I think we just
I turned up the burner a bit toward the end, but for the first probably 15 to 20 minutes, the heat really was not as high as it could have been.
I think we
didn't
should have had it
evaporate
a little
much hotter. But this is the first time we've ever done this, so it's a learning experience.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and just taste a little dab, see if we think we want to add any vanilla to it.
Okay.
We also missed a couple of pine needles, fell down the side. Let's restrain it as we're pouring it back into the skillet. But I want to see how it's tasting. trying to figure out like how to describe.
My taste buds are tainted. Give me a second.
I'm picking up on a lot of honey actually. Like the honey is pretty much as prevalent of a note as the pine is.
That was a lot of honey that you put in there.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Well, I actually cut back on the sweetener from what the recipes were saying, which would have helped thicken it up more.
But sugar,
Yeah.
like people recommended, does not have a flavor.
Yeah. Honey, especially if it's like more local honey from around specific areas. Like this was a local cotton honey, so we're getting a little bit of that note as well.
I do taste the pine needle, but the honey is very strong.
So it's definitely going to be a background note with the pine.
Which might not be a bad thing, because coffee is a strong flavor in and of itself too.
But yeah, it's kind of
Let's get this simmering.
kind of what type of flavor do you even call pine?
Citrus,
other than-
like people have
Yeah,
said.
kind of citrusy. Kind of like
Do you guys want to talk about citrus? I tried something new the other week that I've never had before.
what's that?
Thai basil.
Oh yes.
And it was so good. And I now want to eat it in everything. I had it in pho.
Okay.
I've never had pho before either. So it was very life-changing.
It has definitely reached the syrup stage. I stepped away from the stove for about 30 seconds and almost burnt it because it reached down to a really foamy, most of the water gone at that point. You'll see that from the overhead footage. And we went ahead and stirred in a half teaspoon of vanilla. Honestly, this might be a little too thick now because the spoon, I just set the spoon aside. And
We're making pine needle candy.
pretty much, I think we might need to end up adding just a little bit of water in order to be
Let me
able
see.
to pour this when it cools. That's how thick it got, just resting the spoon in that lid.
Oh yeah, that's candy now.
Yeah, we're gonna need to add a little water to this before it gets cold. Will you heat the water in the kettle? I don't want to put cold water in this. And we're just gonna put a small splash. Now,
Feast your eyes on upon our shrimp.
it's definitely gotten a much stronger, darker flavor now that we've cooked it a lot longer. So I am curious to see how the flavor is going to be now that it's really going.
Are we ready?
Okay, so
The coffee.
yeah, the rest of our coffee is going to be really simple. We're going to put a little bit of ice in our glasses. We're doing a cold coffee today. And we made cold brew last night. There's one ice cube. Unless you have another.
I don't.
Okay. Well then.
Ice cube in one.
We made some cold brew coffee last night, some really strong. And for that, we did shoot the overhead of that. We just took 2 cups of ground coffee, put it in our French press with about 2.5 cups of water. If you don't have a French press, you can just pour it in a regular jar and just strain out the grounds in the morning through a regular strainer. We're gonna fill our cup about 2/3 of the way with our strong coffee. As for the syrup, we never really stick to the amount that we say we're going to put in the syrup. So today, I'm just going to say add it to taste. Add it until it's sweet enough for you. And then instead of regular milk this time, we're doing almond milk. We wanted to keep it tree related, but also one thing that when we were researching pine needle syrup, a lot of things were saying that it has like a very citrusy note to it. And citrus, regular milk, that can make it kind of curdle, get really gross and unappealing. I wasn't sure if that would happen with regular milk in this case, but we didn't want to risk it. So let's just put like a small drizzle. And then we're going to finish topping it off with our almond milk.
Just a splash.
If you're allergic to nuts, you can switch it to oat milk. Ready?
It smells just like bitter coffee.
Why is it so earthy? That's regular coffee.
Are you sure?
It's the same coffee we've been drinking at work all week that I've been bringing in the jar.
Huh.
I don't know.
That's not sweet.
Either way, I'm not picking up on any of the syrup we put hardly.
Oh wait! I just got a nice back note.
Okay.
With the almond milk, I think. The almond milk is giving it kind of a nice back note.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna add some more syrup because I couldn't taste that at all in here. We put such a small drizzle. Honestly, I think this one is going to be better with a lot of ice in it. We ran out of ice cubes. I have an ice, yeah, feel free to try for like up where the ice is melting down into it. I contemplated doing more of like an Americano with this and just leaving out the milk altogether. And that might be really nice. But I also thought the almond flavor would be nice too. Okay, now I'm starting to pick up on the other flavor. Does it need more almond milk?
I think mine has a good amount. I like the almond milk in it. For some reason, our coffee is tasting like super.
It's a very earthy taste.
And I don't know if that's coming from the syrup.
I don't think so because we tried a dab of the syrup when we were taking it out of the pan, and that didn't
Maybe
taste
the
earthy
syrup
then.
in the coffee.
Okay, I'm getting more of the syrup note now, which is the whole flavor. Definitely a lot of ice in this one.
Lots of ice and lots of syrup.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
We're getting there, yeah.
I don't like cold coffee. So.
I do like cold coffee.
So I am the wrong subject for this test. But as far as cold coffees go, I like the almond milk a lot in it.
So I'm not even sure how much syrup I've added at
And
this
it's
point.
very honey-esque.
Yes. Mainly, now that we've added some more syrup, I'm picking up on a lot of honey. There's a little back note of the pine, but it's not as strong of a flavor as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's pretty mild.
It's like a honey coffee with just a little bit of something in the background. Let me know how it is with a little more almond milk, and I might put a little more in mine. I do think this would be really nice with oat milk, just because, you know, I like my honey and my, especially like spices, honey, things like that. With oat milk, you get kind of like that sweet oat milk sort of flavor.
We just wanted to stick with the tree vibe, and
But I
since
think it
oats
would be
don't
really
grow
good
on
with
trees,
What?
we decided to go with the almond milk, which I think is still good.
I think the main thing is that the honey is overpowering the pine so much that it's more just like a, if you don't know it's pine, you're just kind of like, what is that flavor? What
This
is
is
that
a
flavor?
coffee that you are going to sip at. You're not
Yeah.
gonna guzzle it like some. But if you just
It's a nice
sip at
flavor.
it,
I will
it's
finish
nice.
it.
Yes.
But
It's when I need to just sit back, put a movie on maybe, and just sip away
I
at
do kind of wish the
slowly.
pine flavor was strong.
And like Emmy said, I think this coffee very heavily adheres to lots of ice. I think you need to have it heavily iced.
Yeah, we did make a very strong cold brew for one, so you could do a less strong cold brew and less ice.
That's a lot
But-
nicer.
Okay, with more almond milk.
More almond milk, more syrup.
Let me
It's
try
nice.
a little more almond
I just
milk.
put more in yours.
Oh, well, sorry, I was
Didn't I?
zoned out. I don't know.
I think I did. Wow.
It's been a really, really long week, you guys.
So as far as the pine syrup goes, I think we did a good job.
yeah,
I would say.
So trying to dab on its own.
I would say
Right, you know
maybe-
what? Let's make less mess. I'm gonna
maybe-
dab from the pan.
follow the recipe and do sugar instead of honey, because the honey is so strong.
Yeah, and this is also, like we said when we were mixing it up, this is a clover honey, so you pick up more of an extra
It's a
flavor as
cotton
well.
honey.
I'm sorry, yeah, not a clover honey, a cotton honey. Anytime you get a honey that the bees are primarily eating any one sort of thing, you get a different flavor to the honey to begin with. I'm going to try a little dab of the syrup just on its own. Do you want to try that too?
I've already tried it enough. The
Just
honey
for
is
review.
so strong. I can't eat that plain.
Yeah, it's really strong honey note.
So what I would recommend if you're doing this yourself, maybe do sugar instead of honey,
Or maybe half sugar, half honey.
and
I do like the honey note in it.
put plenty of ice in your coffee and plenty of non-dairy milk, which one you decide. Yes.
Your cat was trying to get my room and pooped in there.
No, she was not. Don't say that about Echo.
Echo!
She would not do that.
You would never do such
I
a
said
thing.
I have to close my door before she gets in there.
Oh.
Wow.
Go give mommy a kiss, because she needs your love.
So I think the perfect balance would be
Knows it.
half honey, half sugar. I do like the honey note,
Do you like it?
but the
Yeah,
honey
what
is drowning
type
out
is
the
this?
pine.
It's pine needle syrup.
Excuse me.
Are y'all making food?
No, we're just making coffee.
We're making coffee.
Give a final review. Hold on. You know what? Hey, hon. I'll just. But pine
Try.
needle have like any cold properties?
Try it.
She does have a cold right now.
Nothing
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
supposed to be great for colds actually.
Try it.
There's a little on
It's
the
your
top.
cough syrup.
Flip it over.
It's
See, there's
cough
some on the
syrup,
edge there.
baby.
Tell us what you think of
Lick
it.
it off the spoon.
We are getting the 3-year-old's review on it. Oh, we got a big grin.
Is that good? Do you
I mean,
like
the syrup
natural
on
cough
its
syrup?
own is really interesting flavor. It's
Maybe
a really strong
what I'll
honey.
do with the rest of it is just give it to Freya's cough syrup.
You can always water it down more too.
No. When you do a honey-based cough syrup, you don't want to water it down. This may be our little niece's cough syrup. You want more? Don't
it
shake
good?
the tripod, baby.
We're getting a big grin. I think the vanilla is nice. It kind of smooths out the flavor, but it is definitely optional.
Delicious.
Delicious.
What type is this?
It's pine needle.
Are y'all making pine needle?
We
Pine
made
needle and
pine
honey.
needle syrup. What do you think? Is it good? You cannot be on camera. I'm sorry. No, we don't put children on camera.
We aren't posting minors, my sweet.
You gotta wait another 15 years, Freya.
Look at that grin. She
Pretty
is a
cute.
big fan of the syrup. So we definitely have one major fan of today's recipe.
She's trying to get
Trying really hard to see herself on screen.
All right, well, that is the coffee of the month. Sunrise through the treetops.
If you love honey, you're probably really gonna like this one. But
And I think the way your coffee tastes is going to strongly do whichever
Yeah.
coffee you use to make your cold brew.
yeah. So I think we could, if we work on this, we can get it more of a tree note. And if we don't forget when the green pine cones start to come in, I do still want to try to make to pick some green pine cones and make some Magolio.
Is it
And
medicine?
I'm very curious about that.
It's medicine.
It's medicine.
We're gonna have to crop that bit.
We can't have your face on that video. It's
She's
illegal.
loving her medicine. Gracious, look at that. Yeah, it's reached the candy stage. Did you see the pull of the syrup?
This is the syrup I would not put in the fridge.
Yeah, not without watering it down a bit.
Alright,
Because we did reduce it quite a bit. Alright, so. Thinking
I've already
ahead
said
to
5 times. Oh, next month, what is next month?
I have it on my phone. I believe the next one is flowers, or else I'm thinking 2 months out.
No, April's flowers, right?
We're doing April today.
April showers bring May flowers.
Mayflowers,
So, is it May?
probably.
And May
So-
is maiden collects
Yep.
flowers.
May collects flowers. Flower things are always fun. We're just definitely gonna have to source some stuff. So we might have to do some more foraging for May, or else order some things.
Or use what we have.
Well, that's what I'm saying, the foraging maybe.
Foraging our pantry? It's not foraging.
Flowers.
I was thinking,
You have flowers in the pantry?
I was thinking, this is my idea. I was thinking like a lavender.
You don't have lavender in the pantry though.
I
So we'll
have
probably have to
lavender
order.
syrup.
Oh, you do? Okay. Okay.
I was thinking maybe lavender. She was thinking maybe some bee pollen. These are just ideas we're throwing. We don't have an official recipe written out at all.
We have a general vibe on what we want to go
But-
for May.
As always, please put your recommendations in the in the comments below. We'd love to know what you guys want to see, taste, hear
Let us know
about.
if you make the pine needle syrup, if you try it with half sugar, half honey, how that comes out. If any of you do it with the cinnamon in it, that optional cinnamon stick in with it, how it is that way there. And we're definitely very curious about all the variations. And regardless,
No, stop. You're going to pull the cord, baby.
yeah, I think we are about to have our set demolished, so this is probably our cue to go for the day. But we hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy your foraging. Do so safely. Have fun. Stay warm. Stay dry. It's very stormy lately.
It's April showers time.
Yes. And we will see you next month with another coffee.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Say bye. Just don't show your face. Say bye.
Bye.
I think that's enough for today. Mystery time.
There's a mystery. You named it.
Well,
Sunrise
we can-
through the treetops.
we can change it, but I'm like, we're doing long names for our coffees anyway, so.
I'm getting the strainer. Keep talking.
Blah, blah, blah. Words, words, words. Top, top, top.
Amy, do you know how much I love you?
How much?
Oh my goodness gracious, like a freaking ton.
Goodness.
No one
That's a bigger
observed
top.
the fact that I am drinking coffee while we are making our coffee.
She got impatient waiting for the coffee.
Get the little heart full, please.
That'll be a good size.